Oakley dokley do. Good morning or good afternoon, Year 4. Let's get cracking with some maths. So as you can see on the screen, I am on the OneNote page. Again, if you can't get on the OneNote page, your parents will have received these as an email. Or if you received a pack because you do not have internet access, these slides and this worksheet will be in your pack. So I'm going to double click on Lesson 6 PowerPoint to open it up, and it'll look like that. I'm now going to open the Lesson 6 Word document, which will look like this. Okay, so basically I'm going to take you through the slides, and then I will tell you when to work through the questions and what questions to work through. Okay, so I'll bring up the slideshow, and we're on Lesson 6, Solving Addition and Subtraction Problems. Let's get into it. So don't forget your number facts warm-up. So making sure that you're practicing your number facts each and every day is always very, very important. Once you've done that, the WALT for today is we are learning to solve addition and subtraction problems, including word problems. What I'm looking for, can you solve addition and subtraction problems using a range of strategies? And also, apply generalizations of odd and even numbers to check your calculations. So that basically means, can you use your knowledge of odd and even numbers to predict whether an answer is going to be odd or even? It's mighty helpful. Okay, in Unit 1, we explored a range of different strategies in addition and subtraction. We use doubles, we use tens. We think addition when we solve subtraction. We did the split strategy, the jump strategy, so forth. Ring any bells? Let's hope so. You're going to use those strategies to solve these, okay? So you'll find that as question 1 in your worksheet. So you can pause the video and you can work through those, okay? If your parents if you're on your mum and dad's phone and they need their phone as quickly as possible, you don't have to pause. You can just run through the whole video, and then at the end you can work through the independent work, okay? So if you have paused the video, work through those, and then once you're done you can unpause. All right, how did you go? For each fact you solved, did you see that there was an inverse or opposite fact? So 1 plus 2 equals 3, 3 minus 2 equals 1. There's always an inverse operation, isn't there? Throughout the day, you can explain to your parents how you are understanding the inverse relationship between addition and subtraction when solving number problems, okay? Just so you're building your mathematical language, and remember, we learn 90% of what we teach. So if we're telling our parents what we're learning at school, we're actually helping ourselves learn it better. Okay, remember back in Unit 3 when we looked at odd and even when adding and subtracting? Let's review these generalizations, okay? So if you need to pause and have a look at that, maybe even write that down in your math grid book, you're more than welcome to do that because it's going to be pretty helpful. Okay, moving on. We haven't been able to open this video. I'll give it another try. And it's not working, unfortunately. But that's all good. Okay, here is an example of how to solve a problem. All right. So there's 4 steps. Read the number problem, predict your answer, estimate, which means guess, and solve using a strategy. So, for example, here the number problem is 2,619 plus 1,260. So we read the problem. Next we predict. This is where we use our odd and even. So 2,619 is odd, 1,260 is even. Odd plus even equals odd, so the answer is going to be odd. So if I get an even answer, I'm going to have to go back and try it again. Now I estimate 2,619 is fairly close to 3,000. 1,260 is fairly close to 1,000. So the answer is going to be somewhere around 3,000 plus 1,000, which is 4,000. And the answer is going to be an odd number, and it's going to be close to 4,000. So that gives us an idea. So if we get an answer like 9,220, then we know that we're way off. We need to try it again. Now, solve. You can see I've solved it using the split strategy. So I've grouped my thousands together, my hundreds together, my tens together, and my ones together. I've added them all together, and I've gotten the answer down the bottom there. So just pause, have a read over that. Look at the strategies because you're going to need to use them now. So it says solve the addition problems and show your thinking. When estimating an answer, identify whether the answer will be odd or even. So the more working you show, the better it's going to be. So I want you to pause the video and work through question 4 right now. How'd you go with that, guys? You notice there was a word problem in there as well, but keep in mind, we're doing addition firstly. So the word problem would have been those two numbers added together, okay? Don't forget also that there is always various strategies you can use. So you might have used one strategy for the first question and another strategy for the second. There's lots of different strategies you can use. Okay, this one is about subtraction. It's the same dealio. Okay, there's an example there. You predict using your odd and even generalizations. You estimate using numbers that are close to the number. I use a rounding method. Okay, 2,500 take 2,000 is 500. So the answer is going to be odd and it's going to be close to 500. All right. This time I used the jump strategy. So I started at the first number and I jumped back 1,000, then I jumped back 600, then 70, and then 8. Now I jumped back, when I did 600, I split it up into smaller parts. And when I did 70, I split it into smaller parts. So just have a little look over that because it might look a bit tricky, but I have done it. I have done it using the jump strategy. Now, once you've sort of revised that and you're a bit confident with that, have a look at question 5. There are two subtraction number sentences there. One of them, B, is a word problem. Again, you are just subtracting those numbers, okay? Give them a go. Pause the video, have a crack, and then unpause when you're finished. All right, how'd you go, guys? Hopefully you did well with that. Now, if you're using a variety of different strategies, you're becoming a flexible mathematical thinker, okay? Flexible mathematical thinkers tend to be better at maths, don't they? All right. Finally, last one. You get to answer one of these, all right? So if you had the chance to answer 5A again, would you do anything differently? So is there a better strategy you could have used? Or is there another strategy you could have used, but maybe it's not as good? So briefly explain why. So why you could have used another strategy, or why not? Maybe you think that was the best strategy. Tell me why it was the best strategy. And B, If you had a chance to solve question 5b again, would you do anything differently? Briefly explain why or why not in a note to your teacher. So maybe there was a better way you could have solved 5b. Maybe you worked on it for 5-10 minutes and your strategy just wasn't really working, and then you tried a different strategy and straight away you got the answer. So think about, could you have done it a bit differently, and explain why? Or was your strategy the best way? If your strategy was the best way, explain why. Okay, now I've run through that pretty quickly, but we're at the end of the lesson. So feel free to watch that video again, pause if you're having trouble. All right, if there's any questions you got wrong, you can go back to the video, you can rewind it, you can have a look over it again, okay? But as we've been saying during this tricky period of time, we're just doing the best that we can. All right, and there you go. That's the end of your math lesson. Well done with that. Thank you for your cooperation and happy learning. Bye bye.